Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Making of a Dental Startup. I'm your co-host, Ashley Hovez,
And I'm calling out Samory.
and we're just going to jump right in.
Yeah,
And we are actually recording in the office today while we are seeing patients.
we are.
So if you hear some background,
It's
you
the
know,
reality.
it's the reality. It's the reality, and
And
we're
the
going to
cool
make it
thing,
work.
I think, is we're sitting in the office that we're talking about you building.
Yeah,
Smile and Co. 2, Roseville,
it's true.
Smile Design Studio. So the last episode that we did together with talking about building the second startup for you, we kind of just went through you made some emotional decisions and how you found the location and decided the gut feeling. You said that there's regrets in life that you'll hold on to, and that was one that you just knew you couldn't live with yourself, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of, you had talked about the, what did we call it? Come to Jesus moment, where the
Yes.
meeting with me, you, Brian, and Judy,
Yes.
because this happened before you actually bought this location, number two,
In 2021.
2021. Yeah. And I remember we were sitting on the patio of this restaurant in Folsom. Brian had asked Judy to get a lot of stats actually
Yeah.
for the first location because I think you were feeling overwhelmed in that location, correct?
We definitely had a capacity issue, a
Mm-hmm.
space issue, too many employees, too many patients, not enough chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like a circus. Every
Mm-hmm.
time we walked in, it was go, 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 high cortisol, adrenal fatigue. I just felt like you couldn't really breathe in
Mm-hmm.
that office. So, yes, definitely a capacity issue.
And at that time, we were taking all the insurances. I
Yeah.
mean, all the PPO insurances. So, really, you had to squeeze every minute of every appointment. You had a huge team. How many were there?
There were 13 of us at our highest
In six ops.
in six ops.
Um, you actually have a room in the Folsom location for a seventh op. And
Yeah.
we had just
I
started.
forgot about that.
Yeah, because it's plumbed underneath. And you were in the process of about to buying an
Another
additional chair.
chair.
You had the contractor come in. He was starting to open up the floor.
He did open up the floor.
Yeah.
So we still have that weak spot
Mm-hmm.
in the floor. And that was going to be op number 7 in 1900 square feet. I was getting all the juice out of
Yeah.
this lemon. And that's when you, maybe not so much you, Brian was like, what the heck are you doing? So at the time that space was being used as an office space
Mm-hmm.
for one doctor and Colin.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you guys were camped
Yeah.
basically.
You were with me too.
Oh yeah, we were
Yeah.
roommates
Yeah,
for
we
a
were.
bit. And and then I was gonna kick everybody out of that room just to open up that space because everybody knows that your ops are where you make the
Yeah.
money. And we were just gonna not have anybody have the ability to do work outside of patients' mouths. So Brian was like, you need to slow your roll there,
Yeah.
Sparky. Like, let's not equip this with another $30,000 worth of equipment
Mm-hmm.
and then be even more chaotic
Yeah.
in the day to day.
So the stuff that he wanted Judy to bring to that meeting was a lot of where your patients come from and how many were certain insurances and what the percentage of this insurance. I won't name them, but you all know which ones are the worst. If that's okay to
Yeah.
say. And so she had all these pie graphs and charts and things. And a lot of our patients were coming from specific insurances that really have the lowest reimbursements. So we were running around chaotically in the office just to make your bottom line, maybe a
Right.
little bit of profit. So what was Brian's solution? Because we know that behind the scenes, he is the one that is always trying to plant the seeds for
Yeah.
you. What was his solution for that?
He wanted us to get out of network with the lowest reimbursement insurance plan, which in the state of California specifically, they are the majority
Yeah.
of the workers. And we're near the state capital, Sacramento. And all the government officials, all of the state employees, they all have this insurance plan, all the teachers, firefighters. It was basically, I think, maybe 70. I don't know
I should have looked this up. I should have
yeah,
asked Judy before.
it was a big chunk of where our patients were coming from. And in the state of California, they don't just pay out of network reimbursement for these patients who will continue to choose us for their care. They require that the patients pay us completely, and then the patient gets reimbursed directly from the insurance themselves. And that became, I think, a bigger hurdle.
Yeah,
I would say.
for sure.
It's basically like the middle finger from the insurance that says like, hey, if you decide you don't want to participate, we are the behemoth.
Yeah.
And we can do what we want to do. And let's just see how many of your patients will actually stay. And at the time, it was, I mean, it's always a scary decision my head always thinks about the team. Like, how am I going to support 13 livelihoods, 13 families, if all of a sudden we don't have the same amount of influx?
Yeah.
And instead of thinking like, okay, let's get out of insurance, and then if the schedule tapers at that point, we'll look at where's the profitability. And if we needed to make adjustments with our team, we would decide then and there. But in my head, the way I think is crazy. I'm like, I don't want to break up this family. And I would rather just build another space and then see if we can keep everybody happy and not upset that balance, which, in the long term, I did not win that argument.
You can't ever keep everybody happy.
You can't please everyone. And if you've listened to the episode that I did with Rich, he said, you have to feed the business first.
Yeah.
I think every dental consultant we've ever worked with always says, you have to take care of the business.
Yeah.
And the business is going to provide for the employees and not the other way around. And you're going to piss people off.
You will.
And it's a fact of life being the business owner. But nonetheless, we did decide to get out of network. And this is where the come to Jesus moment happened, because we decided that. And I still wanted to open another startup.
You wanted to do both.
I wanted to do both.
Yeah.
Because if anyone could do it, I felt like Smile & Co. could. We still are the highest rated, most reviewed office in our area. And surely we weren't going to have too much attrition. This is what we had built all those years of trust and loyalty with our patients. We were going to be fine.
Yeah. We went to a course even to talk about and learn how to get out of network, how to communicate that with patients, how to do all the things. And that whole process, we spent 9 months beforehand, 12 months beforehand.
Oh, it was a good year.
Even talking to patients about this. But the hard part, I think, and everything kind of happened all at the same time, from dropping insurances and you actually opening the second location. And this is kind of going down a rabbit hole, but I think it all ties in together of just some of the hurdles of opening the second location was getting out of network really, I think, requires that main owner doc to be present in that first location. And when this location opened, you had to be here building this baby too.
Yes.
So kind of what are your thoughts on how that all happened? It all just, and it wasn't like intentionally like, let's do this all at the same exact time. Just the way the cookie crumbled. And how long it took to build this office is when it all happened at the same time. When it all
happened, when it rains, it pours. Like shit really hit the fan. And I basically did all the things wrong at the same time. Instead of just doing what the Come to Jesus Moment meeting was about, which my lovely executive board recommended, like,
Yeah.
just focus on one thing, getting out of network. And then let's see from there. Like, you don't have to build another location. And I didn't listen. And then the time frame of building, it really did require me to be in the new location. And then I had to put all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah.
And when that happened, there wasn't an owner doc in the first location, and things started to fall apart, I would say. Like, not fall apart, but it was because I took our leads. Like, I took all of my most senior employees. I transplanted us to the new location, thinking that our first location was already this well-oiled machine. It had systems in place. It didn't necessarily need a lead or an owner or an office manager. Wow, this sounds really crazy looking back. And that basically was not a good idea.
Because this location opened in August, location number 2, right?
August of 2023, after 2 years. Yep.
And I want to say the official out of network was September. Was that right? Or was it September?
I've kind of blocked that out.
That all just kind of happened at the same time. And you needed a team that knew what they were doing in the second location to help build it and get all the systems set up here. And I remember, vividly, these conversations we had of like, what's happening in the first location?
Right.
Like, we had all these systems. Like, why are things not working out the way that we thought they were supposed to?
Right.
But you can't just have associates in one location really holding down the fort without being present in that space as well. Go back and say like what you would do differently. But I just think opening a second location and trying to do so many things in the first location was tough, but that's just kind of the way things happened. And I just wanted to bring up the Come to Jesus meeting because I know we said that we would.
Yeah, no, there were definitely a lot of learning opportunities for sure. If we could put that in a more optimistic outlook. There has never been a time as the business owner that I have been so tried and tested than when that second location opened. And now the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. And our influx of patients reduced, obviously, because we were now out of network. And it just seemed that we had a complete overhaul of team members. And when you put pressure on the system, you really see if those systems were meant to withstand the pressure. And ours apparently were not strong enough without core employees in the first one. So we ended up getting back in network.
We did.
Back in network reluctantly. It's still like it's a game. It really is. Like, you want to be able to provide the level of service that I know we are capable of, that we've obviously spent our time, money, and energy into continuing education and doing all the things and by investing in technology. But how do you do that with these reimbursements? But at this stage, we just needed flow. We needed production. We needed patience. We needed more the path of least resistance, I should say. And ultimately, like, when this second startup, I think, of course, like, personal stuff. You can't really put aside the personal, and you guys already have heard multiple times what we've been going through as the Hovez family. So I feel like if it's not one fire, it's another. And I can't wait to get to the season of let's focus on the Smiling Co. brand again. Let's like put all our energy back and let's just go guns a-blazing with marketing, branding. We have an amazing team in place now. And I'm just really excited to build it how I've always wanted
Yeah.
to.
All these lessons, like you said, learned. You have to go through that sometimes. And, hopefully people can learn from these lessons too and just kind of see how you did it and maybe what they're looking for and just what they want. And I know Rich was talking about in the last episode how he's going to accept insurances. And I really just loved his perspective on it of it is helpful to patients. And there is a way that you can go about it. And I think he's a great communicator. I think you're a great communicator. We had that short episode talking about like the new patient experience and just little things you can do, whether you want to be insurance driven or not in your office. Like a lot of startups do go in network to begin with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have one office now that's insurance PPO driven and you have one that's not. What do you see the differences between those two? Just if you could talk a little bit about that. I mean, we've talked about you going out, you going in and kind of, but now you've had both of them for a while and just maybe give perspective to any docs looking to do a startup into both of those.
So now that I've experienced the other side, so opening up Smile & Co. Design Studio, Smile Design Studio, it was very intentional from the beginning that I wanted to focus on the cosmetics, reconstruction. I didn't want to rely on insurances, built the office to reflect the level of detail that we put into our smiles. And I tell you what, I think in our first year of being open, before Brian's crazy story, we had already outpaced the Folsom location. Like profitability wise was through the roof. And this was on a couple patients a day.
Yeah.
Of me just doing what I truly loved, which is, it's not a covered benefit, but when you are attracting that clientele, you don't need so many butts in the chairs. And it's been like, even our team now, the ones who are with me, like my assistants, they travel back and forth. And my lead assistant now, like I talk to her all the time and she's like, it's so crazy the vibe that you feel as soon as you walk into Folsom versus working in Roseville. We're very laid back and we're doing slow dentistry. And it's the most fulfilling dentistry. And it just happens to be the most profitable. If I could go back, and I honestly, this building is double the size of Folsom. I only really need like 3 chairs. I would have 1 chair for emergency, 1 chair for restorative, and 1 for hygiene.
Yeah.
That would be freaking like the dream. But
for you. But that's for the startup docs that like to do those kinds of things. A lot of docs do like to do bread and butter. So that I think insurances do play a big part in it. So going back to your vision for this office, like you said, you never wanted this practice to be insurance based. You always knew that it was going to be like your cosmetic one. I think the first location now can be more bread and butter because you don't like doing those things. And that's where you do have amazing docs now who do like to do those things.
Exactly. Hey friends, I just want to give some love to Net32 for supporting this episode. If you're a practice owner like me, you know the back end of running a dental office isn't always sexy, but it is necessary. Net32 is an online marketplace where you can compare brands, vendors, and prices all in one place. That means you're not overpaying or wasting time. And when you're building a startup or juggling multiple practices, every dollar and every minute matters. I've used Net32 and it's honestly made a huge difference. Check them out at net32.com/the-making-of. And now let's get back to the show.
So let's go back now just to talking a little bit about the start of this location. So you saw it, you had your LOI in, you envisioned what the space was going to be like. You knew that your heart was calling you here. Do you mind talking a little bit just about like the financial side of things? Because you bought this location, correct?
Yes.
So you own the building and you don't just have like a practice loan.
So I purchased the building through an SBA. So I actually own both properties, Folsom and Roseville.
Mhm.
And to purchase the building, it was through an SBA loan.
Okay.
And then on top of the SBA loan, you have a practice loan,
Mhm.
which is like your conventional dental loan that
Yeah.
that you are already aware of. To buy the building, I believe we put down 10%.
Okay.
So Folsom had profitability. So I took the 10% and then purchased this. And what I didn't anticipate was just the amount of delays that happened. And there is no grace period for when you start paying the loan on this building. So
like the
basically,
property,
yes.
the SBA loan?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was no grace period. So after we closed, which I mean, that took like a couple months.
Yeah.
I was starting to pay back the loan.
Okay.
And then we didn't open for 2 years. Sorry.
Yeah.
2 years. So that any profitability was now paying for this building.
You've talked about this on the podcast before. Your first location, you were with a specific bank.
Yes.
And you've switched banks since then, since opening this practice. Can you talk a little bit about that experience too and just how that works? I don't know if that plays into like most startup docs, but I think banking is always tricky.
So like just before we opened, it was COVID. And then we ran into all of the PPP money and like we had to furlough all of our employees, all of this stuff. So what a crazy time to be a business owner. Anyways, the bank, I won't mention who I worked with in the past, but they were not helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't get any money from them, no PPP, nothing through them. And they didn't even have like any advisors reach out, or it was just basically I was a duck in water.
Yeah.
And I knew that, I mean, when shit hits the fan, guys, you really want not just a bank, you want a partner, you want an ally. And then when it came time to look at different institutions, I basically told Brian, I was like, I'm not working with this bank again.
Yeah.
And so we ended up bidding out the loan, I guess, to multiple different banks.
Okay.
I chose one that was a more community bank, and then 2 others. One is the one that Brian's office uses, and then another really, you guys know I use Bank of America.
Yeah.
I ended up going with Bank of America, and this was a completely last minute thing. They were able to really competitively beat the best offer that I had on the table. And so that's why I chose Bank of America, and they've been great.
And you moved your loan for the first practice over to them as well.
So now they have all my money.
all my debt. Get all your money.
Yes. They have all my debt. Yes.
Okay. I love that. I think that's helpful for docs. I didn't even know that you had actually talked to multiple banks. I just know that you ended up
I like to date around
with Bank of America. Did they give you like better interest rates and stuff too, or like more money for the second location?
The terms were definitely more favorable. And the interest rate was really good.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy to see how high the interest rate is right now. I think
compared to what you have.
Yeah. Like I got it for 2.95.
Okay.
It's pretty low.
Yeah.
So I'm like, done.
You're like, okay, I'll take your money. Do you mind talking about like just the terms of your loans too?
Yay. I believe so. We put 10% down.
Yeah.
And then it is over a 30-year payment. I don't know if there's prepayment penalty.
Okay.
I think there might be actually, because they want your interest rate.
Of course.
But like there was no balloon payment at the end. So it was very manageable.
Yeah.
And they did something creative.
Okay.
Because they basically tied the Folsom location in with the Roseville location. Like they bundled it together because obviously in California, real estate's expensive.
Yeah.
And I know that we did have a personal guarantee just in case I defaulted.
Yeah.
Faked my death. They would come after me and my kids and my grandkids. No, it let me look at all of the paperwork and
Yeah.
I'll get you more details about that.
You've had a little life since then.
Gosh, yeah.
Is there anything else you would want to just add to the financial side for people that you've thought about that might help a startup doc?
Yeah, I know attorneys are expensive, but please make sure you have an attorney who is well versed in not just law, but dental business, I would say, in setting up your S Corp, or in California to own the practice, you have to create an S Corp.
Okay.
I don't know what it's like in other states, but one thing that Brian has always inquired about is, so I have an S Corp for the Folsom practice, an SBA loan for the Folsom practice, an S Corp for the Roseville practice, and then SBA for the Roseville practice.
Yeah.
So completely separate entities.
4 different ones.
4 different ones because of a whole liability with if someone sues, all this stuff, they can't take everything basically. But why that becomes, I guess, problematic is when you are setting up payroll, especially in California. It's so annoying to have to run payroll through the different corporations instead of having just Smile and Co. as like the parent company. And Brian has always asked about that because in his organization, they have 5 locations, but the parent company is Spine and Nerve, and it pays all the employees. So it still acts as one big corporation. So I don't know if I was misled or I don't know. But
did you have an attorney?
I did,
Okay.
but not a very like hands-on attorney. They basically just said, this is what you should do, and no real reason why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a different one now? Do you have?
It's the same one, but
okay.
he's also still very much.
Okay.
He'll like email me and let me know, oh, your articles of incorporation need to be updated.
Okay.
Or you're like just with the Secretary of State. So it's basically a reminder to renew. Like,
Okay.
oh, pay me more money.
Is it dental specific?
He works with, mostly dentists, I think.
Throw anyone under the bus or anything, but I'm just trying to find out like how a doc might be able to find someone who is going to help you through those situations, or if anyone listening knows any great attorney for these different things that you really loved, maybe just send over that information so we can put it out there to help anyone else listening. Those were all those like little things. And we get questions a lot about, did you hire an attorney for like signing your lease and signing all your contracts and all those things? Did you have someone for that?
I used
like for your real estate stuff?
So he was the same attorney
Okay.
that looked over the purchase agreement.
Yeah.
And then he also does like contract reviews with associates.
Okay.
So yes, he's well versed in those things. I would say he's just less hands-on.
You like a little hand holding too.
I love hand holding. And going off of like building your team, make sure to invest in a really great CPA too.
Okay.
If you can get an accountant early on in the mix, that accountant will help structure your businesses and like really navigate the whole tax advantages and depreciation and, you know, when to roll over losses. And so you get what you pay for. If the accountant is really cheap, most likely it's going to cost you something in the end.
Yeah.
So.
And you've gone through a few accountants.
Oh my gosh. I've dated so many frogs. Yeah.
Do you love the one you have now?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So maybe if you have questions on that, you can ask, or if you have one that you love, let us know as well. So we can put that for everyone else out there so you can learn from others' mistakes. So a great attorney, great CPA to start out with. Those are what you recommend just financially getting into a practice, into a building. I think that's a great place to end for today, just kind of before getting into the nitty gritty of all the other fun things of opening a business.
Yes, definitely build your team early on. join the Facebook community, ask around. Just be very mindful too, though, of recommendations that get put into the group. And don't just use whoever your lender is recommending, because oftentimes those lenders get some kind of kickback. So if you know any dentists in your state, in your area, it might be nice to just connect with them. And because they're already well versed in the state laws too.
And just to, throw that in there, the docs only group as well. You can really ask just the doctors in the community if you want very honest feedback about certain things. Just reach out to someone that's going through the process, reach out to us. I think we all just want to help each other.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully you found that helpful. Continue to listen in. We still have more episodes with Dr. Rich, building Evelina Smiles. We'll get more into building Smile and Company. We've got some other great shorter tactical, quick episodes coming too. One of them I'm excited for. Actually, it's going to be on hiring.
Oh,
so
that's fun.
You're talking about a great team of business advisors and things, but you need a great team in your practice as
Absolutely.
well. I think you're pretty good at that. I think you've learned lessons as well along the way.
Lots of learning.
Lots of learning. That's what we're here for. So yeah, continue listening. Thank you. We appreciate it.
We love you guys. Take care.
Bye.
$250,000. That's how much the average dental practice loses every year to empty chairs, no-shows, last-minute cancellation, gaps that just sit there. Casper's Opportunity Finder constantly checks your schedule and sees every gap the second it opens and helps your team fill it with one single click. And for every Open Dental user, it's completely free. Go to meetcasper.com/register to download it today, because profit isn't the opposite of purpose. It's what funds it.